Hello everyone, Cricket and Corky's Clubhouse here featuring Jill TV. I am back for part 3 of a series where I am talking about all things Playmates. So the talking dolls from the 80s. So I've already covered Cricket and I've already covered Corky. And last we're going to be talking about Jill. She was the last one made of that line of 3. But real quick, before I do that, I have enjoyed all of the comments from the other 2 parts of the series. So thank you so much for all the likes and the comments. Welcome all new subscribers that have joined the channel. I appreciate having you here as well. So real quick, before I dive into the pool that is Jill, I wanted to make just a quick update on a few things I missed. Remember, I said in the beginning of the cricket video, this isn't scripted. I don't have bullet points. I'm just literally going off of what's in my head, and my noggin shakes around. So sometimes I miss things. I didn't miss much. I think I did fairly well. But I did briefly talk about, let's walk over here to Cricket and Corky. So let's go do Corky first because he's easy. So I did mention originally when Corky came out, he did not have socks and his shoes had nothing on the bottom. And then when African American Corky came out, that is when he appeared with socks, white socks, and he had the little logo on the bottom of his shoes. I don't have a pair of ones without the logo, but basically it's literally just this shoe. Just this wasn't on there. It was just blank. So other than that, I think I covered pretty much everything with good old Corky. Also, apparently, I misspoke in the way I described things. I said that Corky had 3 tapes. What I meant was, because I clearly showed that he had tapes in his outfits as well, Corky had 3 tapes in his Play At series. So he had 3 tapes that came with activity books. He had 3 tapes that came with his outfits, which make a total of 6. And then technically he had 8 if you count the one that he came with in his box, which would be his original story and his care of tape. So 8 tapes total for Corky. And also, let's see here, grab it. And remember, I did mention that I was going to get the Corky's Big Game new unbox. So I did treat myself to that because it was really the only thing I was missing. So here it is in all of its glory. So, and it does kind of look like it's starting to come open with the glue there. But there's the hat, comes with white socks, the pants with the belt that's attached, the shirt, and of course his tape. And it looks like so far so good. This one doesn't have any fading on the armbands or on the belt, and I don't see any bleeding yet. So I'm excited. That's kind of was the last piece I needed for Corky. All right. Ugh. Now, as far as Cricket goes, I didn't miss much here. Since I was sitting right there talking about it, and I could have just got up and moved over here, but just so you can see the difference in the 2 original and the second generation of her outfit. So the first one was made of, like I said, a sweater material, and the Cricket is just like on a little peel away patch. And then when they came out with a velour, you see it's different material, and the Cricket is actually embroidered into the velour shirt. So there she is. And then as far as her shoes go, I mentioned she started out without an emblem as well, and she had a sticker. I don't have a pair of the original pink ones right now, but this is what they look like. So they had this little Cricket sticker. I found the sticker here. I found it on the side of the shoes as well. And then this is what they came out with later. So they have a silver emblem on them. And I did want to point out something I completely forgot to mention. This is my main Cricket in the middle here for my display, but she has a pair of shoelaces on that I've never been able to explain. You'll notice they actually have Cricket written on them. I don't know where these came from, so I don't know if they were a prototype. I can't 100% track them down, but I do know that I've had dozens and dozens of Crickets and even more Cricket shoes, and I've never seen a pair that had her name on it. Not on the second generation, not on the shoes that came in the boxes. Literally, I don't even know. This pair just came in one day. I don't even remember who it was with, but she had these on, and I was like, huh, interesting. So I put them on my main display doll just because they could possibly be a prototype, because she definitely doesn't have any other shoelaces with her name on it. I talked about Shadow Kitty, so there's Shadow Kitty up close, and then I mentioned they're down here kind of hidden, but there is Shadow Kitty's food bowl, and she came with a brush as well. Also, this first place ribbon comes off the collar. That was part of the story. So, also talked about cooking with Cricket. She did come with a little apron, which is cute. So there's one for the kid, and there's also the apron for Cricket. And then lastly, I talked about, it's kind of back there hidden, but I talked about school time skirt, how there was two different ones. So I have the one that has more white and color in the plaid, but also I did pull out, I do have the other one still in the box. So this is the variation of school time Cricket skirt. So you see it's just almost all red. A little bit of white and a little bit of black in there. Everything else is the same. So that's pretty much it. I think I've covered most everything else. I did mention, that they came in Matchbox that was overseas. And Cricket does have British tapes. I only have one of them. If you look at the channel, you'll find that one. They're very hard to get because it's very expensive to ship a tape from here, from over in the UK to here. I'm sure all my UK fans feel the same way about getting stuff from this side of the pond. Also, just the conversion rate isn't good. So I've only been able to find one here. And then she does have a French tape. She probably has more French tapes. I've only been able to find one. And Corky has neither of those. I've never seen a French tape for him, and I've never seen a British tape. Oh, that would be so fun if he had a British tape. But alas, I have not heard or seen of one. Also, Cricket does have a display that you can find. I have yet to find one, but the one that was in the in-store display where you would hit the button, she also came with a tape, which I do have a bootleg copy of. And I'm not 100% sure if Corky had one. I'm still looking. I've seen possibility hints that there could be one, but I'm not sure. So anyway, this is just a little update on these guys. Now let's go over to what we're really here to talk about. And that would be Miss Jill. All right. Now I'm going to have a little seat here and we're going to discuss all things Jill. I'm going to, again, do the best I can. There's a lot of information out there. I'm going to, give you what I can give you about it. So, we already discussed Cricket came out and was a huge hit, and she was presented at the Toy Fair in '85, came out in '86. Then she was so popular that other doll companies started copying her, and then in '87, Playmates decided to expand, and they came out with her little brother Corky, and supposedly her older sister Jill. But I mentioned before, I have never found anything that links the two. Yes, she looks like Cricket in the face, but there's no written anything that says that she is the older sister to Cricket and Corky. I have listened to all of her variations of her tape. She has never ever mentioned her younger sister or brother or Cricket. She talks about mom, she talks about dad, she talks about her aunt, talks about a lot of people, but does not talk about the siblings. And the same thing with Cricket and Corky. They actually both mention each other often in their tapes, so they have never ever mentioned an older sister. So I don't know. I don't think I buy it. But regardless, Jill came out the same year Corky did in 1987. And she was, at the time, and I kind of still think is, the most sophisticated talking doll that was on the market. So Playmates wanted to kind of, go a step ahead of all the other dolls that had come out. So the problem is that kind of backfired on them. Jill is very expensive to make, and she was very expensive to buy in the store. So a lot of people couldn't afford to even get Jill, and the company wasn't really making a profit on her because she was so expensive. She's very high tech. I mean, you've seen my videos. I loosely use the term doll. She's a robot. She's a full-on animatronic robot. She looks like a doll. That's about it. So, she came out and there was all these commercials, just like her ad here. It says, "I'm a lot like you." She just was too advanced. So on the bottom, you see it says, let's see, it says for ages 4 and up. So Cricket and Corky say 3 and up. So you're telling me that a 4-year-old is able to get this 33-inch doll that's made of hard plastic and weighs a ton. I can't remember exactly how much. She weighs several pounds. You put batteries in her. She takes 4D batteries and 2 AA. She's heavy. So you expect a 4-year-old to play with one of these. Also, they're very fragile, so their arms are easy to break off. I mean, they're made of hard plastic. It's just the whole idea. I wish I could have been at that board meeting to try to think of what they were coming up with and why they thought this was a great idea. But regardless, she came out, and just within that same year, they started seeing a lot of negatives. A lot of negatives with the doll, negatives in the return profits. So I've talked to several owners, right? I have a lot of Jills, and I've bought from a lot of people, and the general consensus was it's usually from the parents that are selling these dolls, that they've had them in their closets or attics. They said their kid wanted a Jill. Great. They saved up or whatever they did to spend the crazy amount of money to buy a Jill. And then they would get it, and their kid would either be scared of it because, I mean, hello, it's a big animatronic doll. And if you're young, it's probably as big as you are. And it's not easy to love on or play with. You can't take it outside. You can't, it's just problematic that way. And then also the other reason is they kept breaking, right? So parents would tell me they would get a Jill, it would break, they would return it, get another Jill, she would break, and then this went on for however long the parents had patience, and eventually they just gave up. And they either returned it or they just, put Jill away and were done with it and got their kid something else. So because of that, all of a sudden Playmates is getting all these broken return Jills, and it just put the company in a disaster path for bankruptcy. So in 1989, pretty much the same year, Playmates decided to discontinue all of the talking dolls. So to try to recoup and save the company, they just stopped production completely. Now, one of my subscribers mentioned that they saw an ad that Cricket was available in 1990. Yes, that is true. So again, production stops. That means the factory quit making them, but obviously big companies like Toys R Us and Sears and all these places had inventory, plus Playmates also had probably a huge warehouse of inventory. So you continue to see these dolls for sale, for the next few years, but they weren't produced anymore. There was not going to be any more tapes. There was no more outfits, no more commercials. Nothing new was coming out for these. It was just get rid of the stock they had. So, and it's funny, you can see like on the top of a lot of the boxes for all the Playmate toys, they have, the price, and the price is slashed and it's on clearance. Like just on the top of these boxes, the Caucasian Jill here, she has a sticker that says $99.99 on clearance, and then the African American Jill there has one with the same sticker from Toys R Us, but it's marked through to $39.99. Could you imagine? She's so rare. So anyway, they discontinued everything. So Cricket went under, Corky went under. The owner of Playmates he literally, I can't remember the exact quote, but he said, "I don't even want to have an electronic doorbell in my home. Like, no more electronics." So the company was about to go under, and then they were miraculously saved by a little toy that everyone knows called the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So they took a chance on this random, toy. I think it was a comic. It was like a graphic arts comic. And anyway, they made the Ninja Turtle toys, and that saved the company, and they're still in business today, and they're still making Ninja Turtle toys, which is crazy to me. So that's kind of the brief history of the rise and fall of Jill. So she's very hard to find out of all the different 3. She's definitely the most sought after. She's rare. She's 99% of the time broken, just either from age or play wear or whatever reason she's broke. She's like an old car. I've told people that I've worked with that she's like an old car. You fix her, you get her going, and then a day or two later, something else breaks. So I can't stress that enough to everyone. If you get a Jill, just be prepared that she's either not going to work, or if you get it working, she's going to break, and that's just how she is. Like, I guarantee if I was to run all of these Jills, because it's been a while, I guarantee half of them would have to be reopened and tinkered with just to get going. So it is what it is. They were made with cheap plastic parts, and it was too advanced for the time, so they just have not held up over 35 years. But all right, so 15 minutes in, now let's actually dive into the boxes and accessories of Jill. So this is her box. Again, she's 33 inches tall, so she's a very big box, very tall compared to the other ones. Has her logo on it. So we talked, Cricket has a logo that is the little cricket. For some reason, Corky didn't get a logo, which I think is interesting, like a little emblem or something. And then Jill has the butterfly. So there's her logo, and you see that little butterfly on some of her outfits and things. Down at the bottom there, it says Jill cassette included. So remember, just like with the other two dolls, she came with an original tape. She did not come with a care tape, which is the first. So she literally just had the one tape. The only time you saw anything about care is in the warranty and manual, which I'll show in just a second. So my arms and head move as I speak, my mouth moves, I look around, and even blink. Very true. And blinking is my favorite feature. Her eyes, like her face, everything moving is very realistic and neat. I understand what you say. Together we'll make up hundreds of different stories. So I don't know, maybe if you have all the tapes. So she has, obviously, she has a recorder. She can listen. So as you go along, you've heard me yell out different options. So most of the time she only has 3 options. So there's only a certain, path you can take. But it is still very cool and very advanced for that time in 87. Collect all my cassettes. 33-inch Jill for ages 4 and up, requires 4D and 2A alkaline batteries. And then on the side, it's pretty much got the same information. Try not to drop the warranty and stuff off the top of the box. And then on the back, just like the other dolls, they have a large version of her. They have a kid down here playing with it, playing with her, and just kind of says the same thing. So I know we talked a lot about prototypes in the other two. Jill is no different. She has a prototype as well. This is a second version of the prototype, so this is almost what came out. The only real difference here is she has a couple of wardrobe things I'll point out, but also her eyes here are a little different. And I'm kind of glad, because these are kind of creepy looking. Now, something about the white going around the sides of them, they look very electronic. I don't know. But other than that, she's pretty much as is. The actual prototype that you can find in older marketing materials, I don't have a picture of it, but she is definitely different. You can tell she probably didn't have any parts. She was just like a molded, like foam body Jill. And it would be very interesting to find one of those one day. So anyway, that's it. On the other side of the box, same thing. So she came with her, this is her healthcare plan, aka her instructions and warranty. So you open it up, it talks about getting ready to play, how to operate her, batteries, all that good stuff. There's a whole section in here about healthcare and grooming, how to clean her player, all that good stuff. So again, it's interesting. She's the most advanced, and she didn't come with a healthcare plan. Remember, the other two you could actually send off to Playmates to get repaired. That is not the case with Jill, probably because she's so big and she was too advanced. But anyway, there's the doctor says, so that's about as good as you get with her. Something that did come, which I thought limited 90-day warranty. I thought this was interesting. I've got several Jills, and I finally got one that had this little insert in it, which was added, and it's literally just on a piece of paper. So I was like, good job, Playmates. But basically it is just saying, well, I'll read it and then I'll explain it. So, now Jill's even more like you. She'll continue to move if laid down while talking. But Jill is very uncomfortable in the position, so her arms and neck will change position and make lots of noise. Jill likes Jill likes to see you and look around while she talks to her friends. So to make Jill more comfortable and to avoid hurting her, be sure to place Jill in a sitting position with her arms and neck free. When it's time for Jill to take a nap, remove her tape before laying her down. So basically, on these original instructions, it says that you can lay Jill down, and she senses that she's laid down, so her arms and head won't move, because obviously if you lay her down and she's flailing around like that, she's going to break. That was not a feature. That does not work. So I think they added that little piece of paper in there, realizing that that's not a thing and that people probably were breaking them. So to cover themselves, they added that little slip of paper in there. Also, another problem with Jill, I've mentioned probably in some other video, is that she doesn't have any kind of on or off switch. So to turn her on, you literally have to cram the tape in her, and to turn her off, you have to yank the tape out. So imagine little kids doing that. She's going to break. I think originally they had intended on giving her an on-off switch, because she does have a little slot down by her volume for a light. And I've looked at the schematics for her, and she was supposed to have a little on-off light there. So it would be green, obviously if she was on. But they put the hole there, but there's no light in there. And I've actually taken, her completely apart. And there's not even like an electronic piece to go there. So it's not like it's missing. They just never installed one. So who knows what that was about. But this is one of her tapes. So, and I've already done a video on these tapes, but this is one of the rare white ones. So apparently I've never been able to prove this, but apparently this is the tape that came originally with her. And then as, production moved on, they switched over to either like a minty green or a pink tape. But again, no storyline here. It's just the tape. All right, so moving on. This is pretty much the same thing. This is the African American Jill. Sadly, the box is faded, as you see, because that's just how that seems to work. The rare stuff is always the damaged stuff. But these boxes are just near impossible to find. So it's already hard enough to find a Jill box, but an African American Jill box is just not unheard of. There's so few out there. But it's pretty much the same. So nothing different here except the back. As you see, she's definitely has a different hairstyle, which I appreciate. So you can see that her Jill, the Caucasian Jill's, it's kind of just not as much hair, and it's not as poofy. And then she has a big set of hair, which I love. It's very, very curly. And then the pictures are pretty much the same. They used obviously a different girl, so I imagine that they just did all this photo shoot on one day. So as far as everything else, she didn't come with, the other two had books and adventure tapes, different activities and things. Jill didn't have any of that. She literally only came with the one tape, and then she made 6 different outfits. So each outfit came with accessories and a tape. They were way more advanced than what Cricket and Corky came with. Like, they had a lot more accessories, a lot more things that she could hold and play with. And the box was definitely way bigger. So, and I'll kind of just go through those. I'm not going to go through each one and then flip it over, because there's only 6 of them. So, and like I said, the prototype outfits aren't that different. So I'll just point out the few differences. But basically, there is the slumber party set. So the slumber party set consists of the pajama top that says Jill number 10 and the pajama bottoms. They're in a bright banana yellow, which is nice. I love it. It comes with pink fuzzy slippers and a telephone for Jill, which is part of her interaction that you have to do where she talks to her friend on the phone. She comes with a teddy bear to sleep over with and a diary. So there's kind of the stuff here on my original African American Jill. Oh, and she comes with curlers in her hair as well. So you got to put those in. But I figured this is actually the second version of this video, because I was like, you know what? I should just show it right here instead of poking around in the box. But there's the bear, and there's her phone. You see she holds it very strange. There's her curlers, and there's the diary back there. And then she also has the pink fuzzy slippers on. And there is a copy of Jill's Slumber Party. All right, and then here we have Jill's first job. So this is supposed to be a take on the old version of a candy striper, basically a nurse, a volunteer that works in a hospital. So they used to have candy stripers, and that's how you identify them, is by this outfit. So it comes with the candy striper outfit. The smock is attached to the shirt, so it doesn't come apart. She comes with a little hair clip with a little medical symbol on it. She comes with a set of flowers, which is part of the story. And inside her smock, she has like an ace bandage and some band-aids as well. And then for her little cardboard things that she comes with is the get well soon card and the RX checkup card. Both of those also are included in the storyline. The thing that's cool about this set is that, and I mean, yeah, we had the fuzzy slippers before, but they actually started giving her individual shoes, and they were included in the box. Unlike Cricket, that she had to buy extra shoes for. So she has the same shoes like the hot pink and purple ones that she has on her regular outfit, except they are pink, and then of course white. All right, and then here she is up here, so you can see the shoes. She's holding the flowers. She has her little clipboard back there and her get well soon card. There's the little clip for her hair and the flowers. And then her tape right here is pink, so this is Jill's first job. All right. Now, there's 6 of these. I only have 4, and they are, I've collected, let me just break this down. I've collected a lot of stuff in my lifetime. Art, high-end art, you name it, right? And I've been collecting dolls for a few years now. I'll have to say these outfits and these boxes are just impossible to find. They're just impossible. Like, I only have 4 of them, and they were not easy to get, and they're very expensive. But I imagine it's because, I mean, look how, like, you see where my hand is. These things are huge. And the glue obviously is coming off. You see the tapes fall on the inside there. So I think just finding them in the box and just, I don't think many of them survived. But I have 4. I'm missing the cheerleader, and I'm missing the starring role outfits in boxes. I hope one day I'll get them. I'm not very optimistic because I've been looking now for years, and they just don't exist. So if you ever see one, let me know. I'll give you a shout out. All right, so moving on. Next, we have Jill Goes to the Mall. This is very rare. Every once in a blue moon, I've seen the other 3, but this is the only Jill Goes to the Mall that I've found out in the wild. So Jill Goes to the Mall comes with a sweater vest there. She comes with hot pink, like velvety pants, not velvety, corduroy. She comes with her tape. She comes with a brush that's over in the pants, which you can't really see. And then she comes with a credit card and some Jill money. Also behind there, I don't know why they packaged this one weird. She has a very peculiar designed shirt, like a button up, like almost like a men's shirt, and a pink satin tie. So I'll show you those now up here. Much easier to see. So here's her button sweater. You see here's the button-up shirt that she comes with, and there's her little pink satin tie. There's her hairbrush she comes with, her credit card, the pants, and she didn't come with a pair of shoes. So I think because if you look, she has the colors that the original outfit come in, so they just wanted you to pair her with her regular shoes. But what they didn't think of is socks. So she has on, obviously, the leg warmers in her original outfit, but she wouldn't have leg warmers on with corduroy jeans. So she just had bare ankles, and it looked horrible. So I got a Jill one time that had very similar colored, like, socks instead of leggings, and I just cheated and put those on there because I just couldn't look at her bare legs like that. It just looked strange. But regular hair ribbon, and that's about it. The only difference is here, and I'll talk about these outfits in a minute, but this outfit for the soft body has different buttons. Other than that, those outfits are pretty much all the same. Let's see if I can move. There you go. See, so it just had white buttons on it. And then the only thing I don't have out here is the money, so we'll talk about the money in a second. All right, and then last in the box, I have Jill babysits. So this is an interesting one. It comes with a bunch of stuff, but I feel like it could have came with more. So it's literally just the apron. So you're expected to just put that over Jill's original outfit. So you get the apron, and then there's a little necklace in there. You see the tape has fallen to the bottom, but it also comes with. It's harder to see up there, but there's like a. I'm gonna have to actually pull this one out. Oh, sorry, Jill. So up there is like a babysitting checklist with like a crude picture of Jill and holding some baby that is not the baby in this box. There are 2 hand puppets as well, and a little storybook and a baby bottle. So this is baby Josh. There he is. So he's a big part of the story, obviously, because she's babysitting. But I don't know what came first, but this doll was mass produced through Playmates in another line called like Precious Playmates Tiara dolls. So you could find Josh, and Josh came with pink, yellow blankets. He had a little outfit on, so different. The only difference with this Josh versus those is that we call this one Alien Josh because you see he has no white in his eyes. It's just blue with that little speck, that little creepy pupil looking at you. So when they came out with it in the other version, they have white in their eyes. So there is that. Actually, I'm gonna leave this one out because that's the one I'll show you the back of. But where is she at? So here she is over here. Again, it's pretty simple. It's just the apron and the necklace there. So you will notice that you see there is a little African American version of Josh, because I don't know how true it is. I heard rumor that there possibly was a version of the babysitting set that came with an African American Josh, but I can't confirm that. But for kicks, I wanted to get one anyway, just for some variety. But I think he's adorable. And there he is now. This is a great example. You see the difference in the eyes. You see he has white and looks like an actual baby. But yeah, so he came in the Precious Playmates box. I just opened him and put him over there. Otherwise, they're pretty much identical. So, and then her tape is purple. Now, I will say, you notice I didn't show you a tape for her. It's because I don't technically have one out. There is one new in the box. But the tape sitting next to her actually goes to Cheerleader, but it's not the Cheerleader tape. So I got that tape and I was so excited because I really wanted the Cheerleader tape. And a friend of mine had an extra, and I worked to get it over last summer, and I was so excited. I put it in Jill, and the shock and awe I had when she started talking about let's go to the mall. So at some point in this tape's life, someone decided they needed to swap, or for whatever reason, they took out the Cheerleader ribbon and put in the mall. And was very, very disappointed. Not that I'm excited to have the mall tape to listen to, but you know, you're thinking you're going to have one thing. It's like biting into a cheeseburger and it's, you know, a chicken sandwich. I don't know. But anyway, that does bring me to the other 2 outfits. I'll just have to show you this way because I don't have them in the package. This is for Jill's cheerleader tryouts. It is my favorite outfit. I just think it's great. It's very nostalgic for my heyday back in school. But it's made of it's a very interesting material. You can't wash it. It's like that, like thin, like almost like rough velvet, not velvet. I don't know. Like it's a rough material, like felt maybe. But anyway, it comes with the top, and there's a skirt, and then she came with white leggings, and there are her shoes, which are really cool. So they're exactly just like the first job shoes, except they're red. These are her original pom-poms, so they're hard to see, but she holds them in her hands under there. And what's weird is they're made of paper. I don't know why they're made of paper, but they are. They were really cheap with a lot of Jill's extras. There's a lot of cardboard, and that was one of those things. So, and then she also came with a little pennant. This is supposed to have a stick to it, but I don't have the stick. I just have the pennant there. And then she also had a cheer book and a little little megaphone that she's supposed to use. And again, the megaphone was just cheap cardboard. So, and there is the fake version of her tape. She also is different. Is she's the only one that came with her own ribbon, so she has a red ribbon for her hair. It actually was right here, and I was lucky enough to find one of these that still had it attached. And then last is Jill's starring role. This is my favorite tape. The outfit, it's a little problematic, but whatever. It's very 80s. So it is. I don't even know what kind of material it is. It's almost like plastic, but it's got lace on it. It's wild. And then she comes with a winter sash, and then she has the leggings, and then she also, I know that pink sign is kind of making them look pink, but they're actually silver slippers with that same like turquoise, very pretty bluish color for her shoelaces. Instead, it's just ribbons. Um, and then she also has a microphone, which I have been looking for 2 years and not been able to find. It's a little pink microphone. And then these are not her correct flowers or tiara. I'm missing her rose bouquet and her tiara, which I'll show you on the back of the box. I like these flowers. I think they look great. If I get the real ones, I'll probably switch them out. But if I ever get the real tiara, I'm leaving the one I have on there. So you see I have one that's nice and sparkly and got diamonds in it. The one that came with in the box is literally cardboard. It's like pink. It looks like something you would have got like when they used to give those Burger King crowns out. So I hope to get it eventually, but she's not going to wear it. So, and then I don't have her tape at all. So I can't even show you that. I don't know if I have one. No, I don't. Oh, that's right. It's not with me right now. She also has a Canadian tape. So this Jill was released in Canada. We call her French Jill. So it's the exact same box, except that it's got some French words on it. Obviously, just translation. And then she came with the American English version of the tape, but also the same tape in French. So we call that the French tape. That was the only tape that was released in French. So it's out there. I wouldn't say it's super rare. I've definitely had several cross through my pathway. That is almost it for Jill. We are going to come back and talk about her in a second, but let me just show you the prototypes. All right. Flip one of these big boxes around here. What does that say? $14.95. Could you imagine? These things cost hundreds of dollars now. So here are the back. So I'll just point out kind of, you can see what I'm missing, and then if anything has changed, just so if you're looking for stuff, you're not looking for the wrong things. So microphone stayed the same. There's her ugly cardboard tiara. The only difference here is these flowers. The same flowers, except they actually are pink. They're not white. And then I believe her tape is actually silver, if I remember right. I've seen it once. But other than that, that's Jill. The cheerleader one here, let's see what differences. Not too much. Obviously, that's not the right tape. Her tape is yellow. Those pom-poms look plastic, like they should, not paper, but I could be wrong. Maybe that's how they looked in the box new. I've never seen them in the box. The big difference here is the shoes. She did not come with these little pom-poms on there. And then also you see that her pennant there has the little stick, which I don't have, but also this is great. Look, her little megaphone is actually plastic and it holds in her hand. But I've actually seen pictures of the one that came in the box, and they just skipped the plastic altogether for some reason and just made a cardboard fold. So it's very cheap looking. And there is her cheer book. Most of these books, they look like they have something in them, but they don't. So I don't know. One day maybe I'll let you know. Here is the Jill Slumber Party. So pretty much she's spot on. The only thing that changed really with her is her tape, and also her teddy bear does not have a shirt on. So I have no clue why it says Jill 10, and I don't know why her bear says half. I don't really get the reference. So if you do, let me know in the comments, because I don't know what that means. Here is the first job. So her differences are her flowers she's holding are white, and the ones that she has in the box are pink. Also her the little head clip there is white on the bottom, and the one that came out, as you saw, was completely pink. and her tape is almost the same color, so I don't really see anything else that's too different with her. There's Jill Babysits. She is pretty much spot on with everything she came with, except for she has the prototype original shoes on, which I'll flip over and show you here in a second. And then her big change is that, she has this big crazy necklace with all the alphabet letters on it. They did not make that necklace. And then last is Jill Goes to the Mall, which she is pretty much spot on as well. You see her with her little ankle showing down there. And I think the only difference here is you see that she has a bunch of money. So my Jill, the one that I'm showing you right here, it's new in the box. It had never been opened, but for some reason I did peek in to see. I wanted to look at the money, and there's only one piece of money. There's like a green 20 in there. So I don't know if they actually made the rest of that money. I've never been able to see it. That's pretty much it for her changes. So last, I'm going to point out this girl down here, but I got to move this other stuff real quick. All right. All these big boxes. And the mall ones just seen better days. That poor box. Stand up. No, I'm not gonna stand up. There you go. All right, so the last part of Jill's story actually is with this girl here. So you notice she looks like Jill. She has her outfit on. There's something different about her, and that is she's squishy. And she has sleep eyes. So this is what we call the soft body Jill. Hang out over there, Jill. So she came out in this box. Very cheap box, literally just says Jill, Precious Playmates. So the story behind this is that in 1989, so 2 years after Jill failed, this doll came out. She disappeared, and she's named Jill, and she has Jill's hands, and she has Jill's face mold, and she has Jill's outfit and shoes. So what's up? Well, it turns out the factory had lots of extra parts left over they wanted to get rid of, and they obviously didn't have all the electronics and parts to make any more Jills, but they had all these other parts laying around and these clothes. So they decided to make this soft body version. So she came out and she has curly blonde hair, and then also was made in an auburn color. And she was released with all of the outfits. So except for the one with the apron, we're not sure about. I went ahead and put one on a soft body just so I had one. But they came out, and this was the most common one. They came in this box, and the weird thing about it was they came with, you see the new pair of shoes is still attached in the box there. I haven't opened it. They all came with that pair of shoes. So you would get, the slumber party outfit, and instead of slippers, you got a pair of those shoes. That doesn't go. Or you get the cheerleader outfit. Clearly doesn't go with those shoes, but that's what you got. So it doesn't matter what outfit you got. That's what was in the box. And also all of the accessories were all pulled. So you got none of this stuff. There was no phone, no pom-poms, no roses, no anything. You literally just got the outfit, and if they had leggings, you were lucky to get those. So this was just a way basically just get rid of excess parts. The only difference, like I said, was for some reason this mall outfit has purple snap buttons, and when they came out with the soft body, it was like just regular white buttons that you have to put through the little hole. Other than that, everything's the same. If you see anything additional on my soft bodies, it's just because I'm just adding extra things to mine. I just wanted to represent all of them as well. But that was the end of the era for Jill. Soft body Jill came out, and they used up whatever parts were left, and that was the end of her story. She is sitting in Cricket's chair. So I can show a picture on the back of the box. She actually, it's still a mystery, but she had a chair. All of them had a chair. You see she's sitting in one. I have seen this. It was in one of the in-store displays. So she did sit in that chair, and it's also in the flyers. It acts like that you could just buy it separately. I don't know if it was actually released. I've never seen one other than the one that's in Australia sitting on display, and then on these pictures here. But it's like a wicker chair. I don't know if it's actual wicker or if it's made of plastic, and it has Jill written all over the top of it, kind of like this. So it's kind of like that pattern on the top, except instead of the blue background, it's just white to mimic the wicker chair. But I don't know if that actually was released or not. They advertised that it was, but I've never seen one. So if I haven't ever seen anything in person, or I've not been able to research it and get any concrete evidence, it's all hearsay at this point. All right, I think that was it for Miss Jill. I think I've covered as much as my brain will let me right now. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial about Jill, and if you have any questions about her or any of the other Playmates toys I've discussed in series part 1 and 2, feel free to comment below. And I appreciate you being here, and I will see you in the next video. Or as Jill would say, I've got to cool out now while my tape rewinds. And then we can be together again. Bye for now.